There are so many Christians that are enslaved by their stuff. We have such a need to be comforted and satisfied quickly that we will go to things more quickly than we're going to go to God. He knew that that would be the thing that stands between us and Him. So I was at a women's retreat, and one of the leaders said, "What can we do to change the world around us?" And I remember looking down at my wedding ring and thinking, I bet if I sold this ring, I could feed an entire village in Africa. So when I called my husband the next morning, I told him what I felt like God was calling me to do, and for him it was really an answer to prayer, because he was praying that God would get a hold of me and my love for stuff and my materialism. My husband was telling me that a large percentage of the world doesn't have clean drinking water, that I'd never really thought about world issues before. God really impressed on me that there is something more we can do. What started out as a mission to drill a clean water well in Africa became a generosity movement. With this ring, we want to transform the face of Christianity. We're teaching people to live generously, and we're encouraging people to think differently about their resources. We started out with a wedding ring, but we're not about wedding rings anymore. It's about giving your prized possession. It's about giving to God what you hold most dear. When we are more generous with our resources and what God has given us, He can take that and multiply it. He can use that to bring the gospel to the other side of the world. When we drill water wells in developing countries, we work with a really wonderful partner. It's amazing to go into a community and bring the hope of Jesus. That is the most important thing we can do for a village that has no hope. You get to see water spout up from the ground for the first time. You get to see a community of people that have been waiting for water, some of them for their whole life. Water is simply the overflow of the transformation God does in us when we're willing to give up our stuff to follow Him. When God calls us and He gives us an invitation to join Him in this journey, all we have to do is say yes. With This Ring is an organization that transforms lives through radical giving in Jesus' name. And we envision Christian communities that champion the giving and receiving of faith, hope, and love through intentional generosity. There are so many things we use to satisfy ourselves. The joy of offering that to God, that's a satisfaction you will never find anywhere else.